And going back to 1984 for that first Terminator role, for those who don't know, you actually weren't the first consideration to play the Terminator. Does anybody know who it was? OJ Simpson. I gotta be honest, I can't imagine that.
No one knew that he would become the real Terminator. Yeah, it was really wild because the original painting that Cameron did of Terminator with that leather jacket and then with the 45, with the gun in the hand and all that stuff, or I should say across my chest like that. I have this painting at home. No, actually my office is hanging, and that painting has OJ Simpson's face underneath, because what Cameron did was basically he kept the leather jacket and the gun in the hand and all that stuff, and the only thing he did was change the color of the hand and change the face. He put my face, painted my face over it, over OJ. So underneath, if you would scrape, I'm not about to scrape my face away now, I like it too much. But anyway, but if you would see O.J. Simpson underneath. It's really wild. I mean, to own a painting painted by Jim Cameron, and he's an extraordinary artist. He's a spectacular painter. I mean, really unbelievable gifted guy, not only in writing and directing, but also in painting and so many other things. And so I have that painting in my office, and it's really amazing. But I was, as a matter of fact, asked to play Reese, the Kyle Reese character. And so I was all prepped, and I was studying the lines and everything like that to go in there for the interview. And then one day, Jim Cameron asked me to go for lunch. And I went to lunch with him and with the producers, two of the producers there. And by the way, none of them had any money with them. I paid for lunch, okay? So I want to make sure that, yeah. It was really funny when everyone said, Jesus, my wallet. How did I forget my wallet? And I think everyone was so much like kind of in the beginning of their careers that I was really the only one with money, because I made money from real estate and all that. So I mean, I was never short of money until, except before I came to America. Then I never had anything, period. But I mean, then when I came to America, I started saving money, doing seminars and exhibitions and stuff like that, and I had my cowboy boots and always stuffed the cash into my cowboy boots and top. So when I flew from England back home with my, 50 pounds, that no one stored it during the flight, when I was falling asleep. So that was the idea. But in any case, so I paid for lunch there. But in that lunch meeting, Jim Cameron and I talked about Terminator. And we talked about Reese and the various different characters in there and about the time travel and all this. Then I somehow got all kind of worked up on this Terminator character. And I said to him, look, I don't care if you have O.J. Simpson or if whoever is playing it. I said, I just want you to know that you should really study the character that Yul Brynner played in Westworld, because he played a machine, and he played it really well. I said, Yul Brynner, of course, is one of the great stage actors and brilliant actors. And I watched him in The King and I in New York, and we have become friends. And he was really extraordinary. So I said, you should watch that. And he says, why? And I said, because it would be a mistake to see the Terminator do one thing wrong, because it immediately makes you believe that he's not a machine. And he says, like what? And then I will go off the deep end. I said, well, first of all, I said, when he goes into the gun store, he cannot go and try to figure out what gun he should get. He has to rattle off the guns that he wants, which is without even looking at it. I said, number two, when he then analyzes the guns, he has to be able to take them apart within seconds and put them together, but while he's talking to the shopkeeper, never look down, because he doesn't need to look down. I said, he's programmed, he knows exactly the weapons. And I said, when he shoots, you have to minimize the amount of blinking, because automatically, it's like if someone goes quickly to your face like that, you blink. And even if someone says to you, okay, now I'm doing the same thing again, you go like this, you blink again. So it's like one of the things you cannot help yourself. So you have to really train yourself. How do you keep your eyes open as you shoot and you see the fire coming out in this enormous noise? So if you put earplugs in there so it's not as noisy, or what do you do? But it's, you know, so it's very important that you train yourself and you shoot guns every day, boom, boom, until you keep your eyes open. And then hopefully half of the time you maybe blink, but the other half it's open. I said, so that's what you should shoot for. And so this is how I went through everything, like this step by step, the way he should ride the motorcycle and all this, and the way he moves, the way he talks. And even when he says a funny line, he should not have a smirk at all because he has no emotions. And so Jim Cameron finally turned to me and he said, let me ask you something. He says, why don't you play Terminator? I said, no, Jim, please. I said, I've gone beyond that in my career now. I said, I want to have more dialogue than just 27 lines. I said, don't do that to me. I said, I'm going to play Reese. I want to play Reese. I said, that's a great character, but not Terminator. I said, you have already a great Terminator. I said, just stay with that. He says, no. He says, look, you understand the character. I've not even thought about all the things that you just talked about. He says, you understand the character. You should play Terminator. And I'm absolutely adamant about that. So I said, let me think about that. And then 3 days later, I called him back after rereading the script and rereading and trying to visualize it, and trying to visualize of what he envisioned, because he told me the way he wants to shoot it, it would be kind of a heroic guy that people would applaud. He would be heroic, but even though he's a villain, but he's only a villain because he's a machine, but he would get away with all of those things, the killing and wiping out the cops and all this. He will get away with it because he's a machine. And people would not take it kind of personal because of that. So he just, trust me, I know exactly what I'm doing. And so 3 days later, I called him back and I said, okay, I'm in. I played the Terminator. And so that was one of those really great decisions.
Yeah, I'd say it was a pretty good decision. Yeah.